Hello and welcome to another episode of Ewell Acres. Today we're going to continue on talking about our soil amendment conditioners by doing a side-by-side comparison between Peat Moss and Coconut Coir and which one is best to choose. Let's get started. First off, before we get into our main subject of doing the side-by-side comparison of Peat Moss and Coconut Coir, if you like what we're doing, if you're gaining value out of these videos, please don't forget to subscribe, click on that bell for notification. Not only does it help us out with the YouTube algorithm, but it also helps us to continue to spread this knowledge with each other so we can continue to learn from each other with each other. Now, before we do a side-by-side comparison between Peat Moss and Coconut Coir, let's first get into the details of the pros and cons of each and where they actually come from. When you first get to take a look at Coconut Coir, what Coconut Coir is, it is the outer husk of a coconut that is harvested from the trees. There is literally thousands of acres of coconuts with millions of pounds of coconut coir produced every year. It is viewed to be very sustainable. What they do is they strip the coconut husk off of the outer coconut and they will shred it into a very fine material. They are able then to compress it into a very tight block, which makes it very lightweight, very able to distribute it around the world. That is one of the great advantages of it. It has very high water retention capacity, and because it comes from a coconut, there's going to be a very readily available supply. As long as there are coconut forests, as long as there are people eating coconut on their chocolate, you're going to have coconut husk, which you are also going to have a coconut coir. So there is always going to be a large significant amount there. It is a very great high quality product, and that is why it's gained much interest around the world, even more because it's so readily available and it's relatively cheap. In my area, you can find a dried compressed block of it for about 3 cubic feet for about $12 to $13. So it is relatively great as far as the cost benefit goes. Now, some of the downsides to it is that based on where it's stored or the source that you're getting it from, a lot of times coconuts are floated on salt water to help maneuver them around, because the main source of it comes from Southeast Asia or the central Congo of Africa. Now, because of this, there tends to be a very high salt content in the coconut coir, the husk itself. And that can be the downside, is if, depending on the source of where you're getting it from, where it's stored, if it's not properly rinsed out, the coconut coir can have a very high salt content, which could be detrimental if you're using it as a nutrient supplement or a soil bulker for your seedling mixes or other materials. Either way, though, it is still a really great high quality water retention material. As we mentioned before, because it comes in a dried block, it is very easy to transport. On average, you can get a very small brick of it that will easily expand 4, 5, 6 times in size when it gets wet. And so if you're very limited on space, Coconut Coir is a great option for your storage to help expand that. If you don't have a whole lot of storage options, Coconut Coir might be the way to go. Now, you can go ahead and take a look at peat moss. Peat moss is mined out of the ground from peat bogs in very cold, moist climates. By far the largest source of it comes from central Canada. There are other sources that come from Finland, Sweden, Germany, northern Russia, but by far the largest source of it, as making up 25% of the total world's source of peat moss, comes from central Canada. Now, some of the other great means of it is peat moss has a very great source in water retention, just like Coconut Coir. There are some debates, though, as far as that it may not be as sustainable. Another really great benefit of peat moss is that it has literally millions of acres available throughout the world, which means it is likewise going to be very cheap and readily available. In its dried state in my local area as of spring 2021, I can purchase a 3 cubic foot bale of it for approximately $16. So similar, it's going to be on par as far as price goes to Coconut Coir. However, it's going to be much bulkier because it's a dried sponge material material, so that has some plus and minuses. But it is also going to be slightly acidic, and so therefore it is going to potentially have that benefit with that nutrient supplement when you go to add it. The potential downside to peat moss, though, is some people view that it is not sustainable because you are harvesting plant material out of the ground. There have actually been many American scientists that view peat moss as not a sustainable process, and so they recommend people actually go with coconut coir over the peat moss. Now, given what the source is, that it is the Canadian Sporangium Peat Moss Association, they actually have a counter argument. They went and did a study comparison where they found on average it takes anywhere between 15 and 25 years to produce 1 inch worth of peat moss. And so as long as you harvest the material on a lower rate than the peat moss is actually being produced, it is actually sustainable. In some of the figures that the Canadian Sporangium Peat Moss Association came out with, they stated that Canada has over 281 million acres of peatland, which makes up a total of 25% of the world's total land area in peat bogs. Of that, a total of 41,000 acres is currently being harvested. According to the study, they found that 60 times less than that is being produced. Or, on average, for the total volume of peat moss that is being produced every year, only 2% of that is actually being harvested, meaning that they are sustainably harvesting peat moss, and so as far as the Canadian source of peat moss goes, they will never run out as long as they continue to harvest on a sustainable, reliable basis. Now, keep this in mind, it is from that source, they are a mouthpiece for Canadian Sporangium moss, so you have to take the source of those studies with a grain of salt. I personally find it to be a relatively accurate study, though. How it compares to the harvesting between Sweden, Germany, Finland, and other sources, I don't know, but this is the single largest source, and they are, according to them, harvesting it in a sustainable manner. Now, in a side-by-side growing comparison that Utah State University did, and as far as the quality of peat moss versus coconut coir, they actually found that peat moss was a much higher quality hydroponic growing media to grow in, because a lot of the sources of coconut coir that they got had high amounts of salt, like we talked about earlier, making the plants suffering from a high salt nutrition, making it so the plants could not adequately get water take-up. Now, in a similar study done by Auburn University, in a side-by-side comparison between peat moss and coconut coir, they actually found that they performed equally well. And they were able to find sources of coconut coir that did not have high salt content. But they also found some sources that had high salt content. So if you are going to use coconut coir, make certain that it does not have salt. Now, those are some of the positives and negatives of coconut coir and side-by-side comparisons and looking at some scientific studies. Now, going down to the question, what is better, peat moss, coconut coir? The answer is, in all honesty, they're equally good. Whatever comes down to your personal preference, whatever you can source, go for it. Both work equally well as long as you get them from high, sustainably grown, harvested regions. I personally use peat moss just because it's a little bit easier to work with. It's where the major source is in my own individual area. But coconut coir works well too. The only disadvantage is it comes in a hardened block, it has high salt content, you got to drop it in water. There's that prep time that you have to do before it to expand and actually be able to use. When it comes down to it, it really comes down to personal preference. Each have equally high water retention properties. Each work really well. I've used both personally. As of right now, because I can source it easier, I use peat moss, but I've used coconut coir in the past. So, let us know in the comments below. What do you prefer? Peat moss, coconut coir? Did this argument kind of shed some light on it? Did it not? Let us know in the comments below what your personal preference is and why. Thank you so much for joining us as we talked about the age-old peat moss versus coconut coir. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to subscribe, click on that bell for notifications, and we look forward to seeing you next time.